All right, on this farm, we just don't show you the good stuff. We show you the bad, and we show you our screw ups too. There's just something about this cotton that just don't look right. Yep, Matt screwed up big time.
Alright, well, today is the day. We only have about 2.5, 3 loads left, so we're almost done hauling wheat for this year. It's right on the money. Alright, well, I'm about to start this truck up in the morning for the last time for a little while. We only have about three loads left, 2.5, 2 3/4, something like that. Fully loaded down right now. And yeah, I believe we're about to get done hauling wheat for this year. I believe we just got started hauling the last 3 loads of wheat this year of 2020. I guess it'd be 2022 winter wheat beans, but I mean wheat beans. I'm looking at the wheat beans right now, but we're done hauling wheat of 2023. So.
All right, just getting loaded up for another long day of spraying. I tell you what, there is so much moisture in the air. I don't think I need to carry a water jug with me. All I gotta do is breathe and I get rehydrated. It's been a long time since the air has been this wet around here. Of course, so I think we are supposed to get some rain today, potentially after 1 o'clock, so we'll see. It got pretty dark last night when we was cleaning out that grain bin, so let me carry it down there and show you just how good it looks. Got and pull tight and I mean, literally, all we got to do with this thing is turn the button on and off. The only thing I had to get in here and do was a sweep around from the edges, just a real quick sweep around and get it back out there to where the paddles would get it. Otherwise, it's a self-propelled thing that all it does is go around and sweeps the floor. It does an absolutely fantastic job. And then now we've just got very minimal cleanup in here. I'm super impressed. And in fact, my advice is if you are building a grain system, you know, that's what needs to go in there. It's not that much more expensive than a traditional auger, but there's literally no labor involved in it whatsoever. It is well worth the extra, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, whatever the difference is over a traditional bin sweep auger. And in fact, if I knew I could order one and have it installed in bin number 3 before we started fall harvest, I'd be calling today and getting one. But I mean, there's no way to get that done. But definitely want to see what the funds look like this winter, and if I can do it, bin 3 is going to have one of those in there. This way, it definitely does do a better job of cleaning. Is this way, but I mean, this is minimal right here. We can come in here with a leaf blower and blow it over there towards the center well and sweep it in real quick. This year, we wouldn't be as far along as we could be without that, because in this heat, One person cannot do the sweeping in there. You'll run the risk of a heat stroke and everything else because it is so hot and humid. You know, it takes at least 2 people in there. But you know, during this time, Andy's been able to haul. I've been able to be out in the field spraying while Kelly's been here loading trucks. And you know, all she's got to do is come over here, press that button to clean out the last 8,000-9,000 bushels of wheat. So if it hadn't been for this, I would have lost a day and a half's worth. I would have lost a day and a half's worth of spraying. So, and not only did I gain that day and a half worth of spraying, yeah, you know, we're not having to physically recover from being in this bin in the heat with the dust and everything else, doing all that shoveling and everything. So, well, I wish I'd done this a long time ago. Well, it looks like I'm going to have to respray probably the last 20-30 minutes that I sprayed today. I tried to run that tank out and didn't quit in time. So hey, that's what it takes to get a rain in mid-July. I'll do it every time. Our corn crop's not made, but it's getting closer and closer every rain we get.
All right. We are pulling in to get our last load of wheat for 2023 right now. That's right. That's like, can't remember how many loads.
Hey, y'all ready to get that last load of wheat hauled off? I know I am. I need to get some money rolling in. And that's it. Oh, we didn't get it very even at all. All right, that's it. It's going to be pretty light on the front end here.
All right. Everything is nice and slick outside.
You might do a little spinning. There goes the last load of wheat 2023. Well, we got about 4/10 of an inch of rain, so I'm gonna spend the rest of the day getting this sprayer ready to go spray some fungicide on corn. We got air fitting on these cylinders right here for the lift kit. Got to fix it. Plus, got to get my homemade shields put on here. Cause next week it's going to be time to put that fungicide on the corn. Actually, right now probably the time, but we've been busy doing all other sorts of spraying. So I'll be pretty good. I'll be good to go Monday though. Problem is, I ain't got no power. Storm came through, knocked the power out. Been off about an hour now, so guess I'll be working in the dark for a little while.
I just got loaded up with I would say a truckload, but he said I was a little light on the front end, so almost a truckload, but it is the last truckload of the 2023 wheat harvest, so we are on our way one more time to CGB. But yeah, we've got this last load to do, and then all the wheat is gone. It's all swept up out of the bin, nice and clean with our new sweeper. And the new bin sweep that's nice. There were no shovels involved, not hardly as much dust in there because it's all covered. That's a pretty sweet bin sweep. But bin is all clean. The truck is about to be clean, and we're making some way. All right, we made it down the roughest road in America, so let's get it dumped now. you, all 30 of my trips, I haven't really had to sit in line, but on this last one with a half a load, I guess I gotta sit in line for a minute. That's crazy. Not really. They move fast up here, so it's all good. Everybody's working on their last loads. That trailer right there in the middle, it's got about a half a truck, so I wonder if he's on his last load too. Alright, well that didn't take long. When they open those gates wide open, this sure does not take long for the grain to fall out. Especially with a not full trailer. So, it took me about 45 seconds to dunk, and we are back on our way to the shop. 2023 wheat has all been delivered. Still have a little bit to take to Greenfield, I believe, to clean it and replant it, but that's it. That's all we're gonna do. I don't know about this load, but that last load, Kelly, she was dumping it, and she said she was saying there was a bunch of dust and stuff in it from the bin. So I wonder if they docked anything on this one. This is the bottom of it. Come on. Talk to me, Scanner. Talk to me. Talk to me, Scanner. Talk to me. Well, my badge ain't scanning. Come on, girl. My badge ain't working. It's like a 50-50 chance that this badge works or not. Well, they don't want us to leave.
Alright, got all the shields on, got our lift kit tested out, got it aired all the way up. It won't stay up for long because I got a air leak on this fitting I've got to fix. I'm 6 foot 2 inches tall, and I can dang near get up under this thing without crouching over with a lift kit installed. This is what we need for corn on these R series sprayers to get across the corn, spraying fungicide at tassel without damaging it. You can see these shields right here. They just something I fabricated a couple years ago, quick and dirty. Nothing pretty or fancy to them. Just got some sheets of poly from Lundale Plastics. Cut them to approximately the right size and clamped them up here. Drilled bolt holes, bolted them to my row crop fenders, and then made this angle iron bracket back here that bolts to another fender using the existing bolt hole there. And what that does is that protects my airbag and all my hydraulic lines and everything from the corn plants rubbing on them as they go by. Definitely don't want to wear a hole in one of those airbags right there, or those hydraulic lines. So, not pretty, not fancy, but it does a pretty dang good job. All right, you can tell I'm soaking wet. You could cut the humidity with a knife. I think I'm gonna go jump in the shower to dry off before I tackle putting that thing back together. All right, on this farm, we just don't show you the good stuff. We show you the bad, and we show you our screw-ups too. Now we're up here on Smith family, and well, there's just something about this cotton that just don't look right. Other than the fact that it's short, it's skippy, very delayed, and just doesn't seem like it's growing right. Yep, Matt screwed up big time. We sprayed this farm on Tuesday. It's Saturday now. We sprayed this farm on Tuesday for plant bugs or whatever, and this was the first load that we sprayed after spraying our soybeans with Roundup and Prefix. Now we cleaned our sprayer out good. I mean, we flushed it probably 7-8 times, probably total around, you know, 600-700 gallons of water, making sure we got all the prefix washed out of the booms, because prefix is a mixture of dual and reflex. Dual can burn cotton a little bit, but reflex can absolutely fry it. And I thought we'd done a dang good job, because prefix is not really something that hangs up in the lines and the strainers or whatever, so I didn't use any ammonia. That might be mistake number one. Mistake number two, and that's what I think actually caused the damage, is we got 2 mix vats on our water truck. And anyway, we used the mix vat that I'd previously been using with a hooded sprayer, spraying Liberty and Valor. Well, y'all seen us clean out the sprayer several times during wheat harvest of Valor to go spray cotton, and it's a very extensive process. Well, this time we did not clean out the mix vat and the lines on the water truck, and I think this is what we're seeing is Valor damage. It might be some prefix damage too, but I think the majority of it is Valor damage. Now, is it going to kill the cotton? No, it's not going to come close to killing the cotton. The cotton will grow out of it and it'll put back out, and probably a week from now we won't even hardly be able to tell that there's any damage out here from the new growth covering up the damaged leaves. But still, that's something this farm in particular did not need, because this is some of our original planting that we kept, and you know, it doesn't look anything like the Dunlap farm, our first planted that we kept. You know, it's short, it's just not growing right. I think it lost a lot of vigor during that cold, wet May that we had, and it'll produce something, but it's not anywhere close to blooming. It looks like plant bugs have knocked quite a few squares off. So this is like one of the biggest, this right here is like one of the biggest squares out there. That's still a long ways away from blooming. And in fact, a lot of our replanted cotton has now caught up to this cotton and has passed it. Out of all the fields that we dinged up, it had to be this one, the one that's got the least chance of recovering quickly from it. And there's no doubt in my mind it affected yield some, but we're not perfect. We all make mistakes. Just really hate it happened on this farm that's on the intersection of 2 fairly busy roads for everybody to see. Pretty sure my cotton scout's gonna give me a pretty severe tongue lashing come Monday when he scouts his cotton and sees it. Live and learn. All right, we're finishing out our week with more spraying, because we got a total about of an inch of rain between yesterday afternoon and this morning. It's too wet to be back in the field with our hooded sprayers. So we out scouting for bigweeds. Got some enlist beans here that's resistant to Liberty, so these big pigweeds in here, we just soaking them down real good with Liberty and ought to take care of them without any problem. Anyway, we're out here in our full season beans, and I'm really liking what I'm seeing. I mean, these beans look beautiful. They've almost reached their full height. So we got the skinniest leaves just starting to come out. So these are going to be ready for a fungicide application probably later on this week. Anyway, if you remember my soybean planting videos, you know, we planted our soybeans first, got them in extremely early just to maximize how much sunlight that they would get, and hopefully make a little bit more shorter, compact plant. And that's exactly what happened this year. You can see they're not quite up to my waist, whereas normal 4.7, 4.8 maturity beans planted a little bit later on, you know, they'll at least be waist tall, if not close to chest tall. But that doesn't mean that they're going to yield any less. You know, we got pods stacked all the way up and down. I mean, look at all these little mini pods here. And then starting to get some bigger pods down here in the bottom of the canopy where it started blooming first. But I mean, we got, 4, 5, 6 pods, 7, 8 pods per node. Looks like it's going to set. But look how close these nodes are to each other. Normally they're a lot longer, but see, they're stacked a whole lot closer together, even up here closer towards the top. that's due from the earlier planting date. They were planted in a little bit cooler conditions, and while they still develop normally, the cells did not elongate like they do during rapid growth when it's a whole lot warmer. So we've got a really compact plant here with, I mean, if it sticks all these pods, and it looks like a lot of them have already stuck because they started, the pods have started growing out some. I mean, we could be looking at some big yields. But anyway, we're on a time of fungicide application at the R3 stage, and R3 can kind of be a moving window in indeterminate beans. These have been at R3 for a while, but what we're wanting is for maximum plant heights. And we know the plant's done growing vegetatively when these real narrow soybean leaves right here, when they grow all the way out and elongate, the plant's done growing vegetatively. And then once that happens, we'll be looking for a 1/4 inch pod about like this right here in the top 3 nodes of the plant. So I figure these will be just perfect time for a fungicide, probably later on next week, right before we leave on vacation. But looking at the leaves, there's no signs of disease. Maybe just a hint of frog eye just starting to pop up. And I mean, these beans look beautiful. I don't know if we're gonna have record yields on these soybeans, but they're gonna be good. They're gonna be real good, especially considering we got a full tank of gas in the ground with moisture. You know, the only thing kind of holding these beans back and dinging them up a little bit is some dicamba drift. You can kind of see, you know, these upper leaves, you know, they're trying to cup up just a little bit. But I really don't expect that to affect the yield at all. I mean, any bean that's not an extend bean in West Tennessee is going to show signs of dicamba damage because the stuff just volatilizes with our high humidity. And you know, even if you do a perfect job of application, once it hits the plant, it can volatilize, gas off, get up in the atmosphere, and go for miles and miles and miles. And that's kind of what we're seeing here. This isn't the fault of any of my neighbors or anything like that. That's one reason we don't spray the stuff, is for that simple fact. You know, I know it's in the atmosphere and whatever, and it's going to be going around the countryside, but it's not going to come out of my sprayer. I don't want to be I don't want to be anybody contributing to the problem, and definitely don't want the liability associated with it. Especially considering with our cover crops and other practices, we can control pigweed without using Xtend. You can kind of see more of it here. See that kind of that whitish point on the tip end of the leaf? That's dicamba drift. All right, well, I'm gonna lose a few more gallons of sweat to get the rest of these pigweeds taken care of and call it a day. And next week, got a lot of big goings on. Got a lot to get done before we leave on vacation. Got more spraying to do. Surprise, surprise. But before we get to more spraying next week, we got a certain piece of equipment we gotta get taken care of. But you'll see more about that in the next video. Appreciate y'all watching. See you in the next one.